Sami people are the indigenous people of Northern Europe, inhabiting northern parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Kola Peninsula in Russia. These people have very rich and unique culture, and today we're gonna take a look into the myth and story of these beautiful people. Before we begin, we need to talk about something though. Sami have long been subject of assimilation and discrimination effort by the respective countries. Vexelsen Plankton Act of 1899, an official instruction, forbade them and other minority groups from acting as educator in multilingual schools. This was just the beginning of a full-blown assimilation policy in which government stated that the goal was to reduce the sense of identity and community within the minority groups. And these efforts were so successful that in one particular instance, an area reported to have not a single soul identifying as Sami, when just 20 years ago they made up 61% of the population living there. Today, they number just around 80,000 people spread over multiple countries, with most of them cut off from their cultural roots. What it means is that not only this beautiful culture is on the verge of losing its identity, it also means that it is almost impossible for an outsider like me to find the myths and stories from this amazingly fascinating culture without making mistakes. But I will do my best. But I also want you guys to correct any mistakes I made, or if you know more stories, myth, or nuggets of knowledge, please share them in the comment section. Long ago, when the world was engulfed in darkness, the great spirit Ipmil heralded a vision of a new world. With cosmic authority, Ipmil summoned his son and commanded him to harness his power and summon the great white reindeer, Gaba. And thus this celestial envoy, an embodiment of purity and rebirth, descended upon the world. The ceremony unfolded with a divine grandeur, as Ipmil himself divided the reindeer's body into separate parts. The magnificent horns were offered to the underworld spirits, becoming a bridge linking disparate worlds of living and the dead. The sacred bones formed the earth's skeleton, rising as grand mountains. The fur transformed into a lush greenery and sprawling forests. The divine blood flowed onto the earth's surface, forming rivers and lakes, coursing through the land, shaping and molding it like a divine blessing. The celestial eyes transformed into morning and evening stars, gracing the heavens, one in north and one in south, eternally guiding travelers on their journey. From the skull of the divine Gaba, Ipmil conjured the firmament, a celestial shield that will safeguard the nascent earth from the scorching brilliance of the heaven. In the final act of this celestial drama, the great spirit Ipmil placed Gaba's heart at the very core of the earth, proclaiming, "As long as this heart beats within the earth's embrace, hope will endure." And so it began, and the earth as we know it came into existence. You know, there is something magical about the creation myths. The way a culture believes in the birth of universe tells us so much about how they themselves view the world around them. But how did Sami people came into existence? It is explained in another story. It is said that in the beginning there were only sun and the earth. The sun was the father and the earth the mother, and together they had a son. The home of the son did not have any woman. So the son does what the sons used to do back in the days. He sets out on a quest to claim a bride from a land to the west of moon and sun. Sailing with a crew of his best men, they travel for a year before reaching the land of the giants. And there, he fell in love with the daughter of the giant king. But before they can be together, he must defeat her blind father in a test of finger pulling, which he does so by the daughter's aid in tricking the blind old man and thus gaining the right to marry her. The son and the maiden are married on a sheet of whale skin, mixing blood and tying knots against bad luck. He also gets several chunks of gold and silver in dowry. And before leaving, they do the deed, if you know what I mean. The brothers of the maiden, angry at the son and wanting to take her back, pursue them. The couple defeats the brothers by the power of maiden's magical handkerchief and the son's hot rays, and thus being able to escape from them. They then marry in a traditional Sami manner, and she soon gave birth to the ancestors of the Sami, the Galla Batnit. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. In the Sami animistic view, the sun and earth existed first. Between the two, they gave birth to the creature that roamed the earth. Everything was descended from the divine, not just created. The son of the sun finds his bride at a place which is not his ancestral homeland. The sun doesn't shine there. In fact, the rays of the sun destroy the brothers of the giant maiden. From this, we may assume that sun did not create the giants or the land that they inhabit. Therefore, there are other creative forces of life in the universe, not just the children of sun. This leads to the idea that sun and earth are just parents, not creators, an idea that may be accepted for the creation of other other things. The Sami worldview allows for other people and origins to exist. It is a worldview for their people only, tolerant to other and able to accept new ideas from outside of its boundary. So Sami are descendant of Gala Bartnet. But what happens to them? Some say they ascended to heavens and today can be seen as being part of Orion's belt. Heaven. Sky is fascinating, especially night sky. Sami's view of heaven is quite thrilling to say the least. According to Sami cosmology, the sky is supported by a pillar topped by North Star, known as Pillar of the World. The star remains fixed, holding everything in place as the other stars circled around it. As the story goes, the great hunt is repeated every night in the sky. Its protagonist, the huge reindeer, Sarve, is chased across the firmament by a star constellation that resembles a man with a bow. The hunter Fawana is just one of the many constellation that take part in this spectacular event. Luckily, Pavana's fatal shot is prevented by the North Star, whose task is to keep the sky in place, and if the elk were hit, the sky would fall to earth and end the world as we know it. Thus every night the fate of humankind is at stake. Night sky is beautiful. Twinkling stars, bright moon with a backdrop of dark canvas. It is just captivating for mere mortals like us, but Sami has another desert on their cosmic plate. Northern Lights. For us outsiders, it's a beautiful view, a cosmic dance between the sun and Earth's magnetic field, but for the indigenous Sami, the lights were feared and respected. Often referred to as Guab Shas in their language, Northern Lights are believed to be spirits of the dead, with the dancing light representing their souls playing in the sky. It was improper to discuss them. Waving at them was frowned upon too. As if you caught their attention, the Sami believed the light would reach down and carry you away. Another prominent Sami myth described the Northern Lights as foxfire, created by a magical fox whose tail sweeps sparks into the sky as it runs across the landscape. Sami women would cover their hair under the Northern Lights so as to not burn it. Isn't it fascinating? The things that we admire so much is feared in another part of the world. Goes to tell you the power of science which helps us in demystifying the myths. What else we fear? Death, the one thing which comes for all. So how does Sami deal with them? Pre-Christian era, they used to be a shamanistic animist who believed in dualistic nature of spirit. One part of spirit, free soul, one part of the spirit, the free soul, would move to the afterlife, while the body soul stayed behind, tied to the family and resting place. The free soul would cross into Saivo. It was one of the regions of the dead, their resident called Saivulmak. The dead would then live happy lives there with their families and ancestors. They would build tent, hunt, fish, and do all the things they would do as if they were living. In Norway, the Saivo world was believed to exist in mountains, whereas in Finland, it was believed to be under a special double-bottomed lake connected by a small hole. Another aspect of that Sami mythology is Ruotta, a god who is a personification of sickness and death. He is also the overseer of Rotaimo, a place for people who did not follow the normal order of things as living. There they get a new body, but then they get bound to this realm henceforth and they can never leave this place. Ruotta would spread death and disease across the land riding on a horse, which is interesting. Horses were detested and feared by Sami. I read somewhere it's because horses were the preferred way Norsemen would move around, but I'm not sure about the authenticity of that. But yeah, these were some of the stories, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I stream on Twitch, link is in the description. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Maybe I was Alvin, a lore keeper VTuber in training, trying to take up the mantle of god of stories. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.